T virus, G virus, A virus, B virus, she virus, he virus, P virus. Resident Evil has been carrying on for a bloody long time. If I'm being fully honest, it's all getting a bit rich. Following the timeline of these games has become a task that not many are willing to undertake, opting instead to consume each individual entry as a singular story, and not worrying too much about where it fits in the grand scheme of things. But maybe you want to know more. If you got to the end of Resident Evil 7 and Chris walked in the frame and you thought, who the hell is this guy? Then this video is your name written all over it. Welcome to Mojo Plays, I'm Matt, and this is the complete Resident Evil timeline explained. Before we continue, we publish content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Don't think for a second you can get away with understanding the lore by starting with Resident Evil 1, because technically that isn't even the earliest canon of the entry. That award goes to Resident Evil 0, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The Resident Evil timeline begins long before the events of the games, way back in 1919, where 100 years before she became our antagonist in Resident Evil Village, Mother Miranda lost her daughter to the historically devastating Spanish flu. At the time, just a normal woman, Mother Miranda remained in a state of grief until she eventually found and was infected by a special fungus known as mold. For something that would change the course of history, it's worth noting that the mold was just hanging out in a cave, just chilling. It's not from Mars or something, it's just there. But this ain't the mold you find beneath a leaky shower. This mold fungus changes its host's genes, turning them into powerful superhumans with regeneration capabilities, plus physical enhancements out the wazoo. Some even gain the power to control other mold-infected individuals. The mold under my kitchen sink, however, just gives me a cough, so that's pretty shit. From there, she made it her mission to use the mold to revive her daughter. The idea was that she could create a superhuman to serve as a vessel for her child to take over. So she started experimenting on the residents of the nearby village. You know, like a crazy person. Miranda would eventually meet a man by the name of O.V.O Spencer, who she mentored in the process of her experiments, inflaming his already fired-up passion for human mutation. While Mother Miranda was focused and driven by the desire to resurrect her daughter, Spencer was far more interested in reaching the next stage of human evolution, believing the mold was the key to this. This difference in driving goals is what led to them parting ways. Spencer, along with Edward Ashford, James Marcus, and Brandon Bailey, would soon find the progenital virus in West Africa. And once again, a virus that changed the course of history was just hanging out in some flower in Africa. Why do these people keep competing with viruses? Also, what are the chances that the man Mother Miranda mentored after she herself discovered an otherworldly entity-controlling virus would find another otherworldly entity-controlling virus? Also, why are Chris's arms so big? I'm getting off topic. After discovering the virus, Spencer would create and serve as CEO and president of the Umbrella Corporation. Let's jump to the 1960s, where two important projects are underway. They were known as Project W and Project O.V.O. Both had somewhat similar goals, as they intended to create enhanced individuals using the research from that same virus Spencer discovered in Africa. The Code Veronica project was a little different and a little bit more rich white people like. The objective was to create a successor of the Ashford dynasty after the death of Alexander Ashford's father, leaving him the only surviving family member. It led to the births of Alexia and Alfred Ashford. Project W, on the other hand, lasted 4 years. During the first phase of the project, hundreds of children across the world were adopted based on the criteria of their parents' contributions to mankind. All given the surname Wesker, they were given the best education that money could buy while being closely monitored by the Project W team. When they grew up, they were allowed to go out into the world